GMO Tuesday. I got the Sumatra mandolin going here. Nice. Chilly morning. Yes, that fall equinox brought in some cold weather. Cooled us off a little bit. Yes, it did. Hey, before we go any further, got to bring the star of the show on. 9 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. 9 weeks. Wilcox Organic Bold Eggs, the Bold Eggs, has been the star of the show. Remember, the star of the show, Wilcox Organic. They waited in line on the shelf for 6 months before they became a star. He don't want to give his star status up. They don't want to give the star status up, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, Wilcox Organic. Certified organic by Oregon Tilth. Hard boiled eggs, already peeled, gluten-free. Boiled eggs. Can't beat them with stick. Ain't gonna do no good anyways, man. They got protective coating. You know who don't have garbage like this? Foothill Feed and Mercantile. You need non-organic food. You need a non-GMO food. Non-GMO. You need organic feed. They got them. Up there. Foothill Feed and Mercantile. They're on Geiger Grade. 775-852-0999. You know, one of the biggest things we have going on the planet is water. And we all love a good conspiracy theory, do we not? Tell the truth. Every one of us has just a little inkling that, oh yeah, the government shot Kennedy, or oh yeah, the mafia did it, oh yeah, the Cubans did it, oh yeah, somebody did it. Yeah, there's always a conspiracy about something. Here's one for you. Wrap your head around this. Just sit down, take a deep breath, get the 420 out if you need it. You might need it for this. It could be a stretch. Let's look at something for just a minute. We're going to talk about water. We're going to talk about how a company can generate $5 billion on $200 for water rights. It's Nestle. They've been bottling since 1843, 1847, some crazy thing. They've been bottling beverages. But let's look at something for just a minute. They are part of the Grocery Manufacturers Association. Is that right? Okay. Grocery Manufacturers Association. Now, of course, Grocery Manufacturers Association against food labeling. Why are they against food labeling? Because if they put what's in the food, they got to tell us there's poison in there. And, oh, by the way, who supplies the poison? Monsanto, Syngenta, Bayer, ConAgra. They all do. Dow, DuPont. Agrochemical companies, that's what they call them now. They're the agrochemical companies. They're going to give us agriculture that's safe. Yeah, they're going to give us agriculture that's safe. Because remember, they're going to put a little bit of this. They're going to put a little bit of that in a little bit of this. And you're going to get this. Yeah, you bet. Oh, yeah, and by the way, we'll get to this in a little bit here, but why they're doing a little bit of this in a little bit of that to give us that, guess what? We're going to use less of this. We're not going to use any more of this. No, we're going to use a bigger, stronger, deadlier chemical. You fell for it. I could just see these guys. They got to be. I really want to see the faces on the way to the bank, because that's where this is going. But we have a company, Nestle, which is running around the world, and they're taking advantage of, for lack of a better phrase, third world countries, economically repressed. I'm trying to be politically correct. Let's just say broke, stupid people that don't have any inkling of an idea what to do in court when Nestle takes them into court with their billion-dollar attorneys, and this guy is standing there with an empty pocket of dust. They're going into countries buying up water rights. If I'm not mistaken, Minnesota or Michigan, they spend $200 a year on water rights to tap a well up there, and they're producing 50 million bottles of water a month or some crazy thing. Put that in perspective. Each bottle's costing them, and when I say each bottle, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking bottle, label, lid, everything, plus the water purified back into the bottle, less than a penny. Serious margin, less than a penny, and they're getting about 10 cents a bottle. Not a bad margin, is it? Something to think about. It's something to think about, because it goes back to what I say. What goes in the ground goes on your table. So, is there a conspiracy to help Nestle's generate billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars, beating people out of water rights and water? I don't know. Link is in the description. You can be the judge. You can be the judge. But it's one of those issues. It's one of those underlying issues in the industry that is Nestle really doing? Are they taking advantage? Yeah. Are they doing anything wrong? Technically, no. They're just taking advantage of the fact that they're smarter and got more money than these poor countries. I mean, India's been hit really big with this. But it's one of those... I guess it's like, if you feel it's a bad thing they're doing, then you say it's a bad thing they're doing. If you don't, then you're a capitalist pig, and all you're out for is a pecuniary greed factor, which we're going to talk about in just a minute here, because there's one thing Monsanto knows, and Monsanto understands the pecuniary greed element of human nature. Hey, you know who's not poisoning the food? You want to know who doesn't want poison in their food? That cutie pie down under, Sheena, Alexandra, and Liam. They don't want poison in their food. Bondi Radio, ladies and gentlemen. You got to check them out. Great show. They got great guests on there. You can catch them on the TuneIn app. Bondi Radio, Wellness Radio. 6 to 9 on Friday nights, Pacific Standard Time. That's what time it comes on up here where I am. On the West Coast somewhere here. Bondi Radio. I don't know who's going to be on their show this week. I haven't heard from her, but it's worth a listen. It's definitely... Besides that, man, they have the girls on there. And fellas, come on, fellas. It's the same for girls. A guy with an accent. Come on, tell the truth, fellas. A girl with an accent, and now she's cute. Cut it out. You're slobbering. You know it. Pick your tongue up. Put it back in your mouth. I ain't no different than you guys. Come on. Bondi Radio. Good show. It's a good show. It's a wellness show. They have great guests on there about different health items. And you know what? When I listen to it, I hear the same thing about health down there, down under, as they say, as we hear in the United States. In this respect, ladies and gentlemen, think about the technology. Think about what we have. We were never able to, if we wanted to listen to a radio show when I was a kid, you had to have a ham radio, a big old antenna way up in the air, and breaker 19, and all kinds of conversation going on to hear what was going on in another country. Not anymore. This is what's so wonderful about technology. We can share. We can share things of common interest. Bondi Radio down there, Wellness Radio, Sheena, Alexandra, and Liam. Your host. They got the most going on down there. Give them a call. You know who else? Right here in the United States. MDG Blogger. She got no garbage on that website. Organic for Green Livings. Check her out. Drop Dead Gorgeous Paula Mare. Them girls, hey, I don't know what it is. Non-GMO girls. Come on. You think I'm kidding about this pretty girl thing? The president's wife is a non-GMO girl. Look how... Cut it out. Cut it out. You can't tell me the president ain't got a smoking hottie wife, man. Come on. No GMOs. No GMOs. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, no GMOs. That's what it is. Healthy living, no GMOs. No GMOs. Speaking of healthy living and what is not healthy, another esteemed academic institution down the tubes, tarnished reputation. Got me all choked up. I got to say this. Produced. Institution has produced not one but two Super Bowl championship quarterbacks. Produced some of the best baseball players in the country. Pac-10 football, legendary Pac-10 football school. Pac-10 football school there. Stanford University, the esteemed academic institution out of Palo Alto, California. Tarnished. Henry I. Miller decided to take his Hoover Institute fellowship and let Monsanto ghostwrite a paper for him. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this again, and I say this in the property preservation industry all the time. A little common sense can go a long way. I want you all to stop and think about something for just a minute. If Monsanto was right about all this stuff they're saying about glyphosate, if everything they say about glyphosate is correct, from 1988, when George W. Bush, George Herbert Walker Bush, George Daddy Boy, told the executives at Monsanto, who told them we have this wonderful herbicide. But if we wait for your FDA and your EPA and your USDA to do their job, that's what they said. If we wait for them to do their job. And what did Georgie Boy say? What did old Daddy Georgie Boy say? You need to call me. We're in the dereg business. George Bush sold the USDA, the EPA, and the FDA, sold them to Monsanto. Billy Clinton did the same thing. He doubled down on it while he was lying to us. Georgie Junior Boy, yeah, he tripled down on it. And then the monkey that called himself our president, that idiot, the traitor. I'm sorry, I got no respect for Mr. Barack Obama. He's a traitor in every sense of the word with what he's done to our country. He lies to us and tells us the American people have the right to know. And what did he do? He put nothing but Monsanto lackeys on the court. He put Monsanto lackeys in the FDA, the EPA, the USDA. And then sold us down the river with a QR code. Debbie, let me stab my constituents in the back. Stab bin now. Kid Rock, can he push her out? Let's hope so. You know what? Hey, maybe somebody with no political obligations, like our president, might be the answer. Michigan. Might be the answer. She sold you out. She stabbed every one of you in the back. Every one of you that want proper food labeling, every single one of you mothers and fathers that are concerned about what you're putting on the table for Susie and Johnny to eat. 9 weeks. Star of the show. Waited 6 months on the shelf to get on the show. All the people want is what's in the food? What's going on with our food? That's all they want to know is what's in their food. I don't think anybody asking that question is a bad person. How is Zen Honeycutt a bad person for saying, hey, tell me what's in the food so I know what I'm feeding my kid? How is Vani Hari a bad person for saying, hey, tell me what's in the food so I know what I'm feeding my kid? How is Mr. and Mrs. Trump bad people because they want to know what's in the food that they're feeding their kid? How is anybody a bad person that wants to know what's in their food they're feeding their child? I don't get it. Maybe you can answer that question. I don't get it. But I will say this Monsanto papers, when I was a kid, we had Valachi papers. The Valachi papers. That was a heavy duty book. Joe Valachi. Joe the Rat. Valachi gave everything up. The Monsanto papers giving everything up too, man. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let me just say this. Crimes have been committed here. That's how bad this is. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know how this is going to play out. But I do know one thing. I had another 22 people this week pick me up on Twitter, and together we all asked the president, Mr. Perdue, we asked Mr. Pruitt, we asked the president's wife, we asked the FDA, get the poison out of our food. We don't want poison in our food. Please get the poison out of our food. MTG Blogger does it with me every day. We ask the president every day, Mr. President, please get the poison out of our food. Trust me when I tell you, he's going to hear us. Why is he going to hear us? Because every day there's one more person. We ask him. One more person joins me in this campaign, and we ask him, please get the poison out of our food. Stanford, that is just terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. Not only does Stanford now, they join Harvard, they join Cornell, they join Purdue, they join a lot of very prestigious Alabama, Arkansas. Speaking of Arkansas, saying no to dicamba, period. France. Check links this week, folks. Check links, descriptions in the links. And if you're an eggplant fan, got a link in there for Tahoe markets, Lake Tahoe markets. Hey, got some eggplant stuff going on. But France, keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Keep this in mind. You remember they made a big deal out of Mr. Macron over there in France, running to get his picture taken with Donald J. Trump. Hey, they're buddies. They're buddies. Macron saying no to glyphosate. Ooh, maybe we could put some heat on Macron to say, hey, Donald, you get rid of the glyphosate and come back to the Paris thing, and then you'd be doing something. Who knows? I don't know about, I personally, just moi, I don't disagree with Trump on the Paris climate, whatever that mess was. It obligated us financially to way more than we should be when other countries aren't having to do the same thing. So it's one of those things, folks. It's just one of those things. Arkansas, dicamba has it's a volatile, a very, very, very volatile chemical, especially when heat. And when do you do weeding? When the temperatures rise, it vaporizes and becomes very unpredictable. You don't know where it's going, and that is called drift. There's also a process called leaching. Leaching would be, let's say, your property is a foot higher than mine, and we're right next to each other. Where's the water going to drain? Right into me. That's leaching, vaporizing the volatile nature of dicamba. When it vaporizes, you don't know where it's going. It's still volatile as far as being a chemical that's going to kill something. So there it is there. But Arkansas saying no, we're gonna stop it. France is saying by 22, the year 19, 22, I think. 1922, wasn't it? I think the original Yankee Stadium was being built. I think the house that Ruth built became under construction. But this is 2022 they're talking. France says they're going to look to phase out, and they're looking at other alternatives, that they're going to invest. Their Ministry of Agriculture is going to invest 5 billion euros over the next 5 years, or 5 million, I think it was. 5 million. Link is in the description. Over the next 5 years to find a different type of deal. The problem we have, the cat's out of the bag on this technology. It ain't going back in the bag, so we need to figure out how to use it right and quit making things resistant to poisons. You make something, and again, ladies and gentlemen, a little common sense. Let's take a little common sense. Okay? We're going to use this bottle as an example. A little common sense. We come in and we put that much water in it. An hour later, we come in and we put more water in it. An hour later, we come in and we put more water in it. An hour later, we come in and we put more water in it. An hour later, we come in and we put more water in it. An hour later, we come in and we put more water in it. An hour later, we come in and we pour water all over the floor. Little common sense is going to tell you that if I spray this field today, next month, the month after, the month after, the month after, the month after, and I continue to spray that chemical, that somewhere along the line, the bug, the plant, whatever, is going to build a resistance. It is going to react to it. It is common sense. So how do we have people with PhD after their name, Henry I. Miller, Stanford University, Hoover Institute Fellowship, ruined your career for pecuniary greed? Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake about this. John Queeny understood the nature of the beast and pecuniary greed and how it affects everybody. And from 1917 to 1928, he put his principles into play, and he developed systems to manipulate courts, to manipulate Congress, to manipulate politicians, and he's done it. When he passed the company off to his son, he done it. He had it set up, pecuniary greed, and he knows how to get in the court. He knows how to get into the politicians' pockets. He knows how to sway the media. They learned all this stuff, and now it's in play right now. Little common sense, ladies and gentlemen. A little common sense will tell you why. I mean, think about it. Why would a company spend literally billions of dollars in a campaign that common sense will tell you it's propaganda to hide the truth? They're not telling the truth. Why are they doing it? Because the liability it opens up for them. The liability it opens up for him. Yes, it does. I did not have a chance to get over to Kevin's Epic Gardening. I did not have a chance to get over there today to see what he's got going on. But check the website out, Epic Gardening. Kevin's got some really good stuff all the time, and he's always got tools, dirt information, all kinds of information on his website. Don't forget the drop dead gorgeous gals there, MDG blogger, Paula Mayer, yep. They're over there on Twitter. We ask every day the president, get the poison out of our food. Join the campaign, folks. Join the campaign. Don't forget, coming up, Preservation Thursday, of course, brought to you by the foremost fraud reporting agency in the mortgage field service industry, foreclosurepedia.org, foreclosurepedia.org. This week we're going to have a new feature. We're going to ask the button. We're going to ask the button. That's what we're going to do. We're going to ask the button. Is Justice B. Smith at Roe Enterprise Incorporated telling the truth about Roe Enterprises? licensing being in compliance with Florida state law. What does the button say?
That was bullshit.
Ho ho! Be sure to tune in there because we're going to ask the button. We're going to ask the button. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to get out of here today. Once again, non-organic or non-GMO food, organic food, certified organic food for your pets. Foothill Feed and Mercantile, ladies and gentlemen. Foothill Feed and Mercantile in the Reno, Nevada area. They are in the South Reno area on Geiger Grade. That's on the way to that infamous Virginia City, Nevada. Geiger Grade. 1330 Geiger Grade, 775-852-0999. Ladies and gentlemen, Shannon can get you squared away. Tell her I said hi. It's going to be a great day. We got sunshine coming up. Hey, we're back in the 70s, 80s again. Maybe we'll get a little more guard. I doubt it. It froze pretty hard, but we'll see. Tune in Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Be talking about the next move and where we're going and what we're going to do a little bit more. And don't forget, we are going to be exploring a little bit of this Florida business license situation down there. Talked with a couple people. Talked with oh gosh, what was that girl's name? I can't remember her name right off the top of my head, but I talked with a gal down in Florida. They're looking for trucks. We'll talk about that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a great day. Let's all be safe out there.